for the beta on this game and will probably be a good gun when it comes out in the full release. And yeah, so you'll get a look at it in a second. I think it's worth it. I will say that I struggled getting a good setup on the M4. It didn't feel comfortable for me to use, but once I found these perks, it became a really, really solid gun, and I was enjoying my time with it. The footage in the background is from my stream, as I'll talk about a little bit later, but you know, cool gun. Let's have a look at it. This is what I'm using right here. We have the optic, the SZ Reflex. It's like an ACOG scope, basically. The maps to me are open enough and have long lines of sights where I think this is really useful from medium to long range. And, you know, you can still kill people from close range with it. It is a bit of a hindrance, but I feel like with how open the maps are, this is very, very useful. Then we have the TEMPUS HIGHTOWER 20-inch barrel, which gives you bullet velocity, damage range, hipfire accuracy, recoil control. Hipfire accuracy is not that big of a deal, but you know, when someone's close to you and you want to spray, you're going to get a little bit of a benefit. But the bullet velocity and damage range obviously really help if you're shooting from long ranges. Aim down sight speed is going to be a thing that you'll lose with this build, but you know, I don't think people are that concerned. It's not that big of a deal, and I think if you're a good enough player, you'll be able to work around it anyway. Then we have the FORGE-TAC Castle Comp, which is horizontal and vertical recoil control. But again, you lose some aim down sight speed and aiming stability. The aiming stability, you don't really notice it because of everything else that is attached to this weapon. I couldn't find a good fifth attachment, so I just threw on the Sharken 90 aiming idle stability. I don't even know what that means. I assume when you're aiming down sight, your gun doesn't sway as much. I think that's what it is. So I just threw that on as a fifth perk. And then we have the D15 grip, flinch resistance, and aim walking movement speed as a con. The flinch resistance, I think, really helps, because when you're at the long to medium range and someone's shooting you and you're shooting them, if they don't have flinch resistance, you're probably going to win that fight 9 times out of 10. You know, if you're superb at the game anyway, you'll get 10 out of 10. But I just think this setup is incredible. Now, I don't claim to be a Call of Duty expert, not anymore anyway. I'm too old now. My reflexes are a little bit slower. But I did feel really confident with this gun, and when I first started playing the beta, I couldn't really find a comfortable setup with the M4, so I was using the SMG and trying out other guns and sniping and stuff with the default classes. And the M4 for me was kind of like, oh, I really want this gun to be good, but I'm really bad with it. And then I realized when I changed up my attachments and I found this gun, it just felt like a completely different weapon. It was just accurate, it was stable, and it just felt consistently good. So if you haven't tried it yet, I would suggest trying this out. If you haven't leveled up your M4 yet and you have pre-ordered, you can get access to the Cinder weapons, where you go into the gun and instead of having the base default gun, you have the Cinder version of it, kind of like a blueprint, and then there's more perks available to you. But if you've been playing for a little while, you'll have some perks unlocked. But keep playing, get this set up, and tell me what you think about it down below in the comments section. The footage you're seeing in the background are from my live stream today, a little bit earlier on. You can see me running around, being a bit of a coward, but you can see just how consistently good the gun is. And just a little bit of thoughts about the game itself, the beta itself, if you haven't played it yet, if you're looking to play it. I do really think it's really worth having a look at this game. It's very much Call of Duty, so you got everything you know Call of Duty to be, expect it to be in this game too. But it feels unique enough for me to feel interesting, and that makes me want to play. Sniping seems way more consistent. Chest upwards is a one-hit kill most of the time. The kind of like rifles, not the sniper rifles, the rifles are a little bit less consistent, but they're still really good because you can run around quick scoping with them. I'm sure with some attachments they're going to be badass. I'm excited to see things like throwing knives and stuff. There's only a limited amount of things obviously in the beta, but everything just feels nice. It's bright, it's colorful, it's open. It does not feel dreary and boring to play. The footsteps and sound are really good. I only found that out later on when I took my headset and plugged it into my controller rather than my streaming setup, and then I realized just how good the footsteps are. Definitely if you're a sound whore or you use sound often in your gaming, this is going to be a good game for you. Some of the systems that are new are a little bit strange, like the perk system. You pick 2 perks basically to spawn with, and then you'll get a overtime perk. So as you're playing and going through the game, kind of like your extra 2 perks will kind of charge up and they will be given to you at random. So if you want Ghost and Cold Blooded, you just have to play, and over time they will eventually come to you. But I don't know whether when you die you lose them. That's not something I've really looked at. I'm not entirely sure. But it's definitely a bit of a weird system that's going to take some getting used to. Everything else though just seems really, really cool and really, really good. And I'm not that big of a Call of Duty gamer anymore. I played quite a bit of Modern Warfare 1. I made a few videos on guns and stuff, but this game feels better. So give it a look. If you're on Xbox, pre-order it. They don't take your money until 10 days before the game comes out, so you can play the beta, and then if you don't like it, you can cancel your pre-order. I'm not sure about PC and PlayStation anyway. Let me know your thinking down below about this game so far. Use this setup and tell me about that too. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.